Blue Underground, and the topic that I want to bring up for discussion today, and hopefully you all can engage in this discussion, is what makes a sports game great to you. Now, I understand there's going to be different strokes for different folks. Some people, as long as it's a yearly edition of the game and their team is in the game that has updated rosters and equipment and all that kind of stuff, or people wearing the right stuff, or their tattoos are on them, it makes the game great to them. Excuse me. But I'm talking about what game sticks out when you think of a particular sports game or a particular sport. Like for me, football, it's ESPN NFL 2K5 sticks out. Basketball, NBA 2K11. This is the part where you give some feedback on what sticks out to you. For me, ESPN NFL 2K5 is still the greatest football game because it was the most complete package, and you have to consider the time that it came out. And some of the other things that go into it is kind of nostalgic in that 2K has not put out an NFL licensed football game since that. They did put out All Pro Football 2K8, but understand that the community has supported that game and given it life for that game to still be alive. If it was just All Pro Football 2K8 with the old players, it would not be a replayable title. So the people who do updated rosters or modded rosters for All Pro Football gives that game life. ESPN NFL 2K5 will still be playable even without updated rosters, like I said, for a nostalgic point of view of just going back and playing that game and the run that it had. But Madden 04, Madden 05, also great games. And to me, it was a complete package. Back in the day when you shipped a sports game, or when you shipped a game at all, it had to be a complete package. There was no such thing as a title update, a patch. You had to have your stuff ready to go at that present time when the game was shipped. It wasn't, oh, well, let's just put it out there and then we'll come up with a patch for it later, or we'll, do a title update, or, server tuning or anything like that. Back in the day when you shipped the game, that game had to be complete then, because once it was out there until the next game came out. The number one thing in my book, and this is just my personal opinion, feel free to put yours in the comment section, because what matters or what's important to me might not be important to you, and vice versa. But this is why I'm putting this topic out there, for healthy discussion and dialogue, and to get feedback on what you think, what's important to you, and just according to your demographic and what age group that you're in. Different things are important to you. But for me, first and foremost, simulation sports, strategic gamer, I care about the gameplay first. First and foremost, and also plain and simple. The gameplay has to keep me coming back, and it has to be strategic. Now listen, I understand that these games have to cater to a wide demographic of people, because anytime you put NBA, MLB, NFL, FIFA, NHL, and so on your game, you're going to get a lot of people who are attracted to the game that might not necessarily know everything there is to know strategically about that sport. All they care, to a casual fan, all they care about is that their team's in the game, their jerseys are right, the rosters are updated, their favorite players on their favorite team, and they can probably care less about the rest. They'll buy the game yearly, they play the game a couple months, put the game down, probably never pick it back up again. Now, hardcore gamers, strategic gamers, simulation gamers care about a different set of problems and issues. Or they have a different set of concerns. They want to know if the cover 2 is working supposedly. Do defenders sit in their zones like they're supposed to? Do offensive linemen, defensive linemen interact in a way that replicates the fight in the trenches? Things like that matter to simulation gamers, and neither one is more important than the other, because, like I said, it's just a game. And I mean, if you really want the sport to be that much of a replication, go play the sport outside with friends, or join a community league and play. But for you to call yourself a simulation title, and let's understand this, whether people say it, whether they say it or not, whether these companies say it or not, these are simulation sports titles. NHL 13, FIFA 13, NBA 2K13, Madden 13. They're all simulations of their respective sports. And the people who program these games, develop these games, know that. For instance, NBA Jam, NFL Blitz are arcade titles. You expect arcade principles, arcadish gameplay to come from them. Madden 13, NBA 2K13 are more simulation based titles. You don't really expect arcadish things to go on in those type of games. Now, I always say this, there will never be a perfect game. I don't expect a perfect game, because there aren't perfect people. And imperfect people cannot make a perfect product. So I understand that. But when it comes to, like I said, these games now, these are simulation titles. Next up to me would have to be presentation. And I don't mean presentation in the game sense, but presentation in how the game is presented to you, how you are immersed into the game, and how repetitive is that presentation. Because let's be honest, once the presentation becomes predictable or repetitive, you just kind of A and X through it, because it's starting to get on your nerves. Of course, it's fresh the first month or two you're playing the game, but after that 3-month, 4-month span, it starts to get a little tiring. So I think regardless of development teams, regardless of who's working on the game, unless it breaks something in the game, presentation is something that should be added on every year. Because if you think about it, in the sports world, there's the game, and then after the game is presentation, how the game is presented to you, sports shows, recaps, sports centers. I think Madden 13 and Madden 13 and NBA did a great job with how they used the sports personalities that they used. Damon Bruce, Trey Wingo, Phil Simms, Jim Nance, Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg. Now, it still could be added on because there's no weekly recap show in franchise mode. And that goes for NBA and NFL. And those are things that we used to have. We used to have that with ESPN NFL 2K5, a weekly sports center that showed you highlights around the league that was commentated by Chris Berman. And College Hoops, 2K8 used to do that as well for a basketball show. I don't know if there's ever been one in a basketball game besides that. But presentation, how you are immersed into the game, and the presentation that goes along with it. So leave a comment. You can even send me an email if the comment section is not big enough for you. I want the healthy dialogue and discussion and the feedback just from you, because like I said in the beginning, what's important to you might not be important to me, and this is just for a healthy discussion as well. And we'll continue this, if need be, if this video wasn't enough, because there's a lot that you can talk about when it comes to sports games, simulation, what's fun, simulation versus tournament style play, and just where these sports games have gone, where they've come from, where they are now, where they're going. So like I said, leave me some feedback, and I look forward to reading and discussing and having some good dialogue with you. So All right. Peace.
Come fast, she said that it was pronto. And my first car color was Azure. It affected me, my money had to blow a little more.